updates, and the reason, they are busy. They are following up on hundreds of tips, 400 plus. Sounds like Paul Bloom is ready to go here. So Paul, kind of getting some of your, I mean, you heard what we heard here, but
the headline is no headline. They're still searching.
They are still searching. Certainly one immediate takeaway I had just sitting in the front row here is they are continuing to operate under the belief that he is still alive, that Vance Boelter is alive. Unclear if he's getting help, unclear how he's getting around. There was some indication that some either witnesses or tips came in that he may be on an e-bike at some point or on a bicycle down in that Sibley County area. We just don't know. Obviously, as Amy mentioned, 400 plus tips have come in. We now know charges are ready to go for this suspect, armed suspect, Vance Boelter. Where is he? Whenever, if he is taken alive, in custody, taken into custody, federal charges await him. Of course, murder and attempted murder charges here in Hennepin County await him. So we did get that confirmed. There was questions we talked about at the top of this hour, or I should say now an hour ago when I joined you, about the traffic stop involving Boelter's wife up in Onamia yesterday morning. Now, the BCA superintendent didn't elaborate on what was in the vehicle. There has been reporting, including from Fox 9, that cash and passports, perhaps weaponry, was found in that vehicle. Drew Evans, the superintendent there, would not elaborate, but he did say the family, including the wife and several other loved ones, have been extremely cooperative, and as a result, they were not taken into custody. They were not arrested. We do know they thoroughly investigated the situation up there, maybe having them sort of by the side of the road at that convenience store in Onamia for hours. Regardless, they were allowed to leave. The superintendent did confirm that they believe that Boelter has been in touch with people. Now, they don't necessarily have any indication at this point he's receiving active assistance, but he has been in touch with people. I was curious to learn more about that. Of course, the continued $50,000 reward that the FBI has in place for his capture, and it was made clear at the start of this news conference, they need the public's help at this point. Those photos that are circulating, I know we have the graphics ready to go. We put it up there. People need to take a close look. He is considered armed. He is considered dangerous. Investigators still consider him to be alive. You know, there was some talk, you know, where would he have gone if he abandoned that vehicle that was connected to him, that Buick down in Sibley County that authorities spent so much time with today. So they need the public's help. If you see something, say something, particularly down in that area of Sibley County. They are looking for assistance right now, and they have hundreds, 100 plus law enforcement SWAT teams from all across the state actively pursuing Vance Boelter at this point.
And Paul, one little nugget that Drew did give here this afternoon is that they did find some relevant evidence in this car today that they believe ties back to Boelter, right?
That's what he alluded to. The hat, you've probably seen in some reporting today, that cowboy hat that is in one of the photos snapped by a business yesterday in Minneapolis. That was apparently found discarded nearby, certainly connecting the dots. They believe he was there. He's in that area. They don't know if he got another vehicle. They don't know if he's on foot. We mentioned a bicycle at some point. Clearly, that is an area that needs to be saturated. I'm not sure. I don't have my eyes on the ground there. I presume, based on what I heard here, that there is still an active search going, door to door, going through the woods, going through the farm fields, trying to locate him. I know that they towed the car out of there, but it did sound like crews do, emergency investigators, authorities, crews do remain down there. So, obviously, they're not going to give us everything that they found today, but yes, they believe they found evidence connected to Boelter. You think now about the various searches they've conducted, the vehicle, that security vehicle that he left behind when he was confronted by law enforcement on the front stoop of the Hortman's house. What was in that vehicle? I was at that scene all day. You saw the SUV was packed with, looked like boxes and, records containers. Did they find additional weaponry in there? Were there clues in there that helped them kind of start connecting the dots, picking up the pieces? We know that's where the manifesto was found, that it had been left behind. Drew Evans providing some clarity on this manifesto, that it's not, writings to explain what he's doing, who he's out to kill, more that it included his thoughts, it included some names, but Superintendent Evans made it sound as if we should not perceive that to be a sort of a fully detailed manifesto of his philosophies here and what he is setting out to do with these horrific attacks, homicide, murders of a political leader, and of course the attempted murder of Senator Hoffman and his wife in Champlain.
Right.
Yeah, it's interesting because BCA was actually the one that used that word initially coming out, and it seems like they're kind of reeling it back in now in an effort to kind of quell what has just become an explosion of suspicion and conspiracy theory and speculation.